Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I am honoured to be joined by Jemima, founder of Jemima Jasmine Rugs. I recently purchased not one but 2 rugs from Jemima's company and I'm so thrilled with them. So I'm equally thrilled to be joined by Jemima today. Thank you so much for joining me.
I'm so excited to be here today, and the rugs really are just looking incredible in the space. It's the first time I've seen them live, so I'm just so happy to be here.
I'm honestly really happy with how they turned out. Okay, so to kick things off, Jemima, please can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you, your background.
My name's Jemima. I'm the creative director of Jemima Jasmine Rugs, and I started this company straight out of university, studied at Parsons, Paris, art and design. And the company just kind of evolved from the work I was doing there and my thesis, where I decided to outsource a rug from a factory. I went to India, I found an incredible factory, and the relationship in the company sort of builded from that point onwards. And 4 years later now, I have a beautiful company making bespoke rugs for clients.
You mentioned that you make bespoke rugs for clients. Now, obviously the rug that we are currently sat on, which is my baby, I love it so much. And this was a bespoke piece.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, I think one of the things that was super unique about working with your business and designing this rug is that I could choose the dimensions, the fabric, you know, the design and the colors as well to a certain extent. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about, you know, what that process entails? If somebody has never designed or ordered a bespoke rug before, what kind of a service do you offer and what does that process look like?
One of our USPs with Jemima Jasmine Rugs is that you get a bespoke rug in 7 weeks, which is just, if you know a little bit about the rug industry and if you want any sort of furniture bespoke, as I'm sure you've kind of been through this with your whole new move, that's very quick. So that's one of our USPs. And then from order to install, there's a process where we pick the design. I come back to you with a proposal based off the images you shared and the pieces that you may or may not already have for the space. And from there, we pick the colors, and then the size, and then the material. We have a wide range of beautiful materials. Right today, we're actually on a silk rug, which is probably the most luxurious one in the materials that we have. And then 7 weeks later, we install, and it's in your space.
Perfect.
And it's especially made for you and for your space, which I think is so unique because no one else will have this rug.
You said something really interesting that I just want to pick up on. You said that usually clients ask you for a size that is probably smaller than what they need for their space. Is that something that you see a lot, and why do you think that is? And what would you say are the key things for anybody to think about when they are ordering a bespoke rug?
So the key things to think about is definitely size. So when you order a rug for a living room, I always tell my clients the rug should wrap around all the furniture in the living room. And in doing that, it sort of creates its own space. And it really sort of ties the room together. Number 2 would be material. So when I'm making a rug for a place with high footfall, maybe you have a dog, or, you know, there's a lot of wear and tear in the space, I would recommend a wool rug because those are much easier to clean. But when you have a space that's more luxurious and has more of that luxurious feel, like a living room or a bedroom, I would then recommend a silk rug or a tencel silk rug, for example. It's another material we offer. Then we also have another material, which is a 50% silk, 50% wool blend, which is personally one of my favorite materials because it really has a beautiful texture to it. Obviously, color is very important. So basically, I have a color box and I can come to you with the colors, or you can send me sort of colors you're thinking about, and we can pick the exact color you want that will enhance your space.
Let's talk about designs, because one of the things that drew me to your brand when I was looking for a rug are the designs that you have for rugs on your website. I think they are really cool, contemporary, really fresh and innovative, and something that I've definitely not seen anywhere else. Obviously, you mentioned that you studied at Parsons and you have a background in art and design as well, so you can clearly see that that translates into your rug designs. Do you want to talk to me a little bit about the inspiration behind some of these designs?
Yes, so each design is really unique and they definitely all stand out. And I think the inspiration, it comes from various different things. Traveling, color for me is a huge inspiration in my designs. Like, I'm just like obsessed with color. And when I see certain colors that I think go well together, I'm always trying to replicate that in a rug. Also, nature is a huge influence for me in all my designs. I'm always inspired by whether it's the bark on a tree or a certain way of flower, like the outline of a certain flower. This is what's fueling my inspiration behind all of the designs. Currently, obviously, as you've seen, I have a collection of designs on my website that you can customize. So for example, right now we're on the Emmanuel rug, but we customize the colors to fit this beautiful space that we're in. But as well as that, I offer a completely custom service where I design a rug especially for your room that's not in my collection, and it's something that's drawn from sort of the client and me, and we work together to create a new design.
I think it's such a foundational thing, a rug, and I never really kind of got that concept until we had the space, we started to get pieces of furniture, and everything just felt like it was floating. And I can't describe that feeling, but there was this like cavernous kind of emptiness in this room, which just changed like magically when the rug arrived. And as you said, it ties everything together. So it's something that I think people, you know, like maybe overlook. When you walk into a room, it's not necessarily, I think this is probably one of the first things you notice because it's so striking, but it's not always the first thing you notice, but without it being there, you really feel the lack.
It's missing.
It's missing, exactly.
It's missing.
And one of the things I also really like is, you know, as we said, your designs are quite contemporary on the whole. It's not the same as going for like, you know, an antique Persian rug. It feels fresh, it feels young, but it works so well. I mean, in this space, we've got lots of antiques. We've got a tapestry on the wall and it still all ties together really nicely. And also the Monaco rug that we have as well, which we can talk a little bit about because I love the colors. And I think in that space that it's in here in our home, it just works really well. And it actually, you know, is so fresh and so contemporary that it contrasts the more like arts and craft antique kind of pieces really nicely. But I wanted to ask you, because I think, you know, you must have seen some amazing homes and designed lots and lots of different rugs. Do you have a favorite rug?
So actually, it's funny that you say that because we are on probably one of my most favorite designs because of the way this design sort of evolved. I was actually in an antique shop in Saint-Tropez called Atelier 55, and I saw a beautiful ashtray. I just took a photo of it because I was so inspired by it. I sort of drew so much inspiration from it, and from that, this rug evolved. Although, you know, my rugs are so modern, they are inspired by antiques, and they do sit so well in a home with arts and crafts and antique pieces.
We briefly spoke about the lead time, and I have to admit that was also one of the reasons that I decided to order 2 rugs from you, because because everywhere that I looked, you know, most rugs, particularly if they're bespoke, they have a much longer lead time. And I mean, we're still waiting for pieces of furniture to arrive, but I am very impatient and I like things to happen as quickly as possible.
I completely understand that.
And I think that's also like quite a common frustration when I speak to people. If you haven't kind of done any like renovations or furnishing a property before, it's often not known that these things do take time, but 7 to 8 weeks is really fast. So let's talk a little bit about where the rugs are coming from, and obviously you're doing everything in that time frame. So what does the actual like manufacturing process look like?
So it's a really, really beautiful process. We work with a factory just outside of Varanasi in India, which is, I don't know if anyone's listening has been there or you've been there, but it's been. You've been?
Yes.
It's really one of the most spiritual, beautiful places I've been to. And the factory we work with has been making rugs for 100+ years, and they're incredible craftsmen. And basically it looks like, as soon as you pick the color and the design, the yarn is actually hand dyed to that specific color. And then after that, a beautiful sort of canvas is made with an outline of the design. And then they tuft that, either silk or wool or whatever material you've chosen, onto the canvas. So that, like, kind of that painting with these tufting guns. And it's such a beautiful process. And that takes probably 6 weeks. And then after that, there's some final touches made, and then it's shipped to you.
Amazing. So you must get asked this a lot, but I'm always really interested to hear kind of a founder's story and the inspiration behind businesses. So why did you start Jemima Jasmine Rugs?
So I started Jemima Jasmine Rugs because I saw a gap in the market for contemporary rugs. And I know we've seen a lot of Persian rugs for years now, spread across people's homes, and they are beautiful, but I thought the market was lacking something new, something fun, something that hasn't been seen before. And, you know, I was always painting and drawing, and then I've always been interested in furniture and how art can transcend into furniture. And I think via a rug, in a way, a rug is like a canvas. It's when I'm drawing these designs, I'm drawing them on canvases and large pieces of paper. So yeah, it's really a way for me to create art for people's homes. Yeah.
We've spoken about the Emmanuel rug, which obviously I love very dearly, and the other rug that I ordered from you is the Monaco rug. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that? And specifically, I think its shape is so interesting.
Monaco rug's a lucky rug because it's inspired by a 4-leaf clover. That's why it has that beautiful shape of kind of like a 4-leaf clover, but it's also inspired by sort of the sea and Monaco and all these beautiful blues, turquoises, and it's just a very happy rug. It's a very lucky rug, and it's perfect for sort of underneath a round table. It's definitely a statement piece, and it really kind of, your eyes just drawn to it as soon as you walk into the room, and it really like kind of brings the room to life in a way.
I couldn't agree more, and I love it so much. I think it's very striking, as you said.
It looks amazing, yeah.
Yeah, no, it does, and it's also such a conversation starter. Like, you wouldn't believe how many people have walked in and like commented on that rug, and I think you can tell that a piece is really special when it has that effect. And as you said, the shape is kind of unique. It's very unusual. It's very special. Obviously, in the living room here, we've gone for a rectangular rug, but you do have other rug designs that are also quirky shapes or kind of unusual shapes. Do you want to tell us a little bit about those?
Well, I think if I were also looking at this from like a trending point of view, if I look at rug trends, definitely interesting shapes. They're a new thing, very modern and very fun. So we do have a few interesting shapes, like our Monaco rug. One of our rugs that's very popular at the moment is our vitamin rug, which is kind of looks like I don't know how to even describe.
Is it like the bean one? It's kind of like bean shaped.
We have a bean.
Okay, fine.
We have a bean. We have a pebble. We have a vitamin.
Oh, I love it.
So we have a lot of like fun, interesting shapes, and these are really fun if you kind of want a standout piece in your home, and if you're really leaning towards more of a modern kind of look, these rugs are great. Yeah.
Well, Jemima, thank you so much, both for my gorgeous rugs, which I'm so happy with, and also for coming here today to have a chat with us about all things rug design. I've really enjoyed talking to you, and if anybody who's watching would like to check out your rugs or perhaps order a bespoke rug, which I really encourage you to do, where can they find you?
Thank you, Rosie, so much, and it's such a joy to be here on this beautiful Emmanuel rug. And if anyone's interested, they can find my rugs and contact me via my website at www.jemimajasmin.com.
Thank you so much for watching. I've really enjoyed sharing this chat with Jemima with you guys today, and I hope you loved the video. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I promise lots more interesting interior design and property related content coming very soon. Bye for now.